Hi there, I'm with Tim Harford, the Undercover Economist. Welcome, Tim. Welcome to our London conference.
Thank you very much.
You've got a new book out in a few weeks' time.
The Undercover Economist Strikes Back.
You're striking back.
How to Run or Ruin an Economy.
Well, can you tell us one or two things about the themes in the books?
Well, this is supposed to be a sequel to my first book, The Undercover Economist, which is all about microeconomics, the price of a cup of coffee, what happens when you go into a Tesco or a Sainsbury's, traffic congestion.
Short cappuccinos and that kind of stuff.
The secret cappuccino, the cappuccino that dare not speak its name. So all of these microeconomic issues. And since that book was published in 2006, I don't know if you noticed, I had a couple of macroeconomic issues, just a couple of. So I thought, kicking and screaming, I was finally persuaded.
Eventually,
I have to write a book about macroeconomics, even though I always thought of myself as a microeconomist. And so the process of writing the new book and thinking about the big macro issues, austerity, stimulus, central banking, unemployment, inflation, all of these things that people talk about on the evening news, that was fascinating. Being forced to actually pick these up and try and address them taught me that actually it's a more interesting subject than I had given it credit for.
Because macro's had a pretty hard press in recent times, hasn't it?
It has, and I think not unreasonably. There is a problem with academic macro that I think is too focused on theory. The theory is, like all theories, simplification, not willing enough to make the messy compromises that you need to make to engage with real-world problems. One of the things that I learned writing the book was that actually there is a reason. It's not just blinkered, stubborn, silo academic thinking. There is some of that. Actually, there's a good reason why macroeconomics turned out that way, but I think macroeconomists have to change. It's one of the things I explore.
In A Doubt, lots of characters enter the book. Some incredibly vivid characterizations and stories behind them. Is the same true in your new book? What kind of characters and figures can we expect to read about in the new one?
Well, the book actually is a dialogue, which is a form I've been working with in my Financial Times column. So there's a all too wise economist, and there's someone who's found himself or herself in charge of an unspecified economy and is supposed to be making the thing work. So there's a lot of personality there in that banter, and the economist, of course, gets shot down from time to time. But
no bad thing, of course.
Oh, no bad thing. And you need to challenge these ideas in economics. But I have also tried to bring a couple of characters to life, and the one who really stands out for me as I was writing about macroeconomics is Bill Phillips. And Bill Phillips is really the hero of the introduction to the book, and then he pops up throughout the book. And Bill Phillips was most famous for plotting a curve called the Phillips curve.
Many students will come across that.
The relationship between inflation and unemployment. He never took that very seriously. He always thought that's just an ad hoc correlation. It's a rush job. He never even wanted to publish it. He did many other things that I think are far more interesting. Some of which are sort of boy's own war stories. Absolutely astonishing man. But also he made this remarkable hydraulic computer that was the first ever computer model of any economy in the world that solved differential equations through valves and dams and sluice gates and water being pumped around. He was also very interested in bringing engineering to bear on economics in quite a sophisticated way, to think about oscillations and fluctuations. And he was fascinated by China. At a time when China was a non-story for most people, 1970, there was no Chinese economy, which Bill was interested in.
Well, we always like to encourage our students to read over the summer, and obviously Tim's new book is going to be figuring pretty heavily on that. Tim, can you recommend somebody else that's of interest, that's on the horizon at the moment?
Well, I mean, there are lots of great books out there. Maybe I'd make a slightly different suggestion, which is that students should listen. And my favourite economics podcast is called Planet Money. You can download it for free. There are usually a couple of episodes a week. They're about 15 minutes long, long enough to be interesting, not long enough to be a huge chore. You can listen on the iPod. And Planet Money ranges across micro, macro, economic history, personalities, stories. There's the issue of the day, but also you'll get some fascinating backstory about, well, the Eurozone may be about to collapse. What happened the last time a European currency union collapsed, sort of back in, 1820, for instance? Or why is one central bank like Batman and another central bank is like Superman? Or they're just really, really fun, free, easy to get hold of, Planet Money. I think that's a great supplement to all of the great books that are out there.
So fun, free, highly contextual, and just a fantastic enrichment thing for the students to go for.
Terrific stuff.
There you go, guys. That's what you should be doing this summer. Tim, it's been great to meet you. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.